Hi everyone and welcome to a brand new series, episode 1 of PSG Pain Purge. Loads of managers have attempted to win the Champions League with PSG. Domestically they've dominated, but ultimately the pain of defeat has been really high in the Champions League itself. Can we give it a go and change that for them? Let's see. So, welcome to PSG everyone. So, as we've said in the intro, loads of managers have tried this. Loads of managers have failed at this. We've got to win the Champions League for PSG. And we've got 3 seasons to do it in. Before Pochettino gets his crack, let me have mine. So the domestic season has already started. I'll let you see what's going on in that in a minute. We have reached the point where our group games start for the Champions League, which is why we're starting now, because this series only focuses on the Champions League. So let's, before we get into today's game, let's check out what we did in the transfer market in the summer. We only did a couple of bits of business, and it's the bottom 2 that we did here. The rest were done by the club before I arrived. And what we've done is we've brought in an attacking midfield player and a right back. Those are the 2 things that I felt that this squad needed for the balance in the way that we want to play. So these are not possibly going to be the long-term players that we use, because the money, the finances were not fantastic in the first transfer window. That's going to change over the next couple of summers. So we'll look for potentially bigger and better players as we go. But for this first season, we brought in Franco Vasquez, and we bought him in for 8.25 million from Sevilla. And he's a decent player, decent central attacking midfield player. Lacks a bit of pace, but other than that, has got pretty much everything else you'll need. You'll notice an awful lot of green on my attributes for my players. That's just because in behind the scenes of the game, my attributes and the colours are set for my Truro City save, and I don't really want to be constantly changing them back and forth. So there's going to be lots of green on these attributes. Maybe they're not quite as good as they look, but they're okay for Vasquez, and for the first season as a backup player, he's going to do a decent job for us. The second and potentially longer term player, because I think he's really decent, is Kevin Mbambu. And he's a well-known right-sided defender, isn't he, through Football Manager. I'm sure loads of you have used him at some point or other. And we bought him in from Wolfsburg for £14 million. And I think that's pretty good going, really, for what we've got here. Loads and loads of pace and acceleration, decent crossing, decent tackling, work rate and stamina both really high. You can see that there's a really good right-back in here. So that's a very good buy, I would suggest. And that's all we did. There wasn't a real need to do much else in this first season, just because, as I say, there wasn't the opportunity to go and spend like 80-90 million on one player. But that's going to come. So the squad is set. Is doing pretty well in the domestic stuff. But now we have to switch our attention to the Champions League. So let's go and check out who's in the group for our Champions League. And it is this group. Manchester United, Lokomotiv Moscow and Atalanta are the opposition for this particular group stage. And the way it's going to work, if we go in and have a look at the schedule, you can see that the results have been pretty decent so far domestically. Lost to Nantes and drew to Rennes, but that's just one of those things. We'll pull that back, I would hope, over the course of the season. But here's the Champions League group matches. What we're going to do each season is play the first of the group matches and the last of the group matches, and whichever team we haven't played in those 2 games, we'll pick out one from the middle 2 and play that game as well. So 3 games from the group stages, and then if we get to any of the knockout rounds, it will be the second leg that we come and play in the episodes, and then of course the final should we get there. So that's what we're going to be up to. I really hope we're going to be able to win this, even in this first season would be great, wouldn't it? But we've got 3 seasons to do it in if it takes that long. So in terms of tactics and formations, etc., I've got a couple that are being trained at the moment. I've got my asymmetric formation in there just because I like to have it as a sort of in the back pocket, as it were, should I need it. But we're going for basically going for a 4-2-3-1 tiki-taka style, vertical tiki-taka style. I think it's more direct a little bit, but with lots of energy and lots of pace in terms of how we're going to play it, and a positive mentality. This team is a good team. We can make this team better. Absolutely we can. There's one or two positions in here that could improve quite a lot, but as a whole this team is very, very good, and we don't need to be sitting on the back foot. We need to go and be playing and trying to win the games as much as we can. So we're in the positive mentality. We've got quite a fast paced set up for the vertical tiki-taka, but a short passing style. So that's going to be interesting to see how that develops over time. We're still working on it. We're still trying to get the familiarity up, but it's getting there. And so we've got loads and loads of really good players. We had an issue in terms of registering all of them. Unfortunately, we couldn't. So Moise Keane and Herrera miss out. Unfortunately, Herrera was not happy about it, but there was nothing I could do. I needed to find a way to get as many of this group into the Champions League squad. But there isn't the homegrown talent at the moment to be able to put in this squad to balance that up. Maybe that will change over the next couple of years. There's a couple of youngsters coming through. We'll have to wait and see. But for this season, this is what we've got. We've also picked up an injury for a right-sided midfielder, Rafinha. He's going to be out for 2 to 6 weeks, which is unfortunate. So he would normally play in this right-sided midfield role, but today he's not. So everybody's mostly fit and healthy other than that. We've got an absolute ton of players on the bench. We can name up to 12. But for today's game against Lokomotiv Moscow in the Champions League, we have Navas in goal. We have Mbabu at right back, Bernat at left back, Marquinhos and Kimpembe in central defence, Pereira, Verratti and Di Maria in central midfield, Sarabia on the right, Neymar on the left and Mbappe up top, and loads of really loads of really good options on the bench. So with my voice going already, let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we're really going to set this team out early to try and dominate these games and absolutely believe that they can do it. So we've gone in and said we should be winning this one fairly comfortably. Go out and do that. Make no mistakes. Put the team to bed really early in the game, and then we can really enjoy ourselves. And I think we're more than capable of doing that all the way through this competition, pretty much, other than maybe one or two of the really big boys. I'm not quite sure exactly why PSG have struggled so much in the Champions League, if I'm honest. I mean, a struggle is a strong term, isn't it? They've got to the most recent final and other bits, but they just haven't got over the line. And they have absolutely got a bundle load of superstars in this squad. So let's see how we can get on. It's Lokomotiv Moscow though with the first opportunity to attack, and they've gone through the centre now down the right hand side, but we get in. Verratti nicks the ball and we have a throw in down the left hand side ourselves. Verratti on the ball, he's going to be mostly our playmaker, and we go long over the top, but it was way too long over the top. Not sure what that was at all. That is not a short passing vertical tiki-taka, and again it's Verratti nicking the ball. Fantastic from him so far. Sarabia through to Mbappe, finds a way to get on the ball, drifts a little bit wide, and Sarabia comes in, and then the ball is parried over the bar by the goalkeeper straight at him. It was a pile driver and he pushed it over the bar. Neymar with the corner kick comes into the 6-yard box. They get it partially cleared, but Di Maria picks it up, and then he's tackled quite early on by a defender. Didn't quite get the chance to get the ball out of his feet and look for the pass through. Again, it's Moscow down that right hand side. It's where they seem to be attacking from primarily, isn't it, today? They've come a little bit more central on this occasion, which puts it into the line of sight of the likes of Verratti to win the ball back again. We haven't managed it this time, though. Down to the left-hand side, they've gone with Ribus, and Mbabu gets the ball, and eventually we get it partially cleared again. But Mbabu gets a good foot in, but we didn't quite get the proper clearance on it to one of our own players. And again, Moscow come back at us. Di Maria nicks the ball this time, and charges down that right hand side, puts the ball into the box, and there's Mbappe, and he does not make a mistake. A little tap in for him, really. fantastic play by Di Maria. We had a couple of bites at the cherry. They're checking the goal for a VAR decision, and the VAR is, it's disallowed. Why have they disallowed this? It's probably offside from Mbappe, and it is marginally offside. And if there's one player who does not need to do that, it's Mbappe, with the amount of pace he's got. But brilliant play by Di Maria down that right hand side to get the ball eventually to him. And let's see if we can get more of that from these two kind of players. And here's the other big superstar of the team, Neymar, down the left hand side, opens up his legs a little bit and runs at the defender, gets past one, puts it to the far side for him, to Sarabia. And Danilo picks up the ball in central midfield, and Mbappe takes over, and he almost loses the ball. Not quite, which is okay, but almost. And then a bit of a wayward pass by Verratti, and we do lose the ball again. After 12-15 minutes we're up to now. The play's been okay, but it's a little bit erratic so far. Maybe we do need to just slow the pace down a little bit, but I don't really want to. I want us to dominate with quick thinking and quick passing. But so far, it's led us to be a little bit slapdash with the ball. And again, it's Lokomotiv Moscow in the centre of midfield, working in the triangle in midfield and passing the ball around us for a while. There goes the ball over the top, and they get a strike at goal, but Navas is behind it, parries it. Unfortunately, parries it to around the corner of the post, should I say, for a corner kick. But he should have held that one, really. And they've gone a slightly different route for the corner kick. A long shot comes in, and eventually we do get a block in and partially clear it, but Moscow do pick up the loose ball again. They are winning a lot of those loose balls. A new highlight and a free kick down the right hand side for us, taken by Neymar to the back post. They do get it partially cleared, but Bernat gets the ball and moves down that left-hand side, slows the pace down a little bit, uses Verratti, gets the ball out from his feet to cross the ball in, but it is cleared again, and it's going back to Bernat down the left-hand side. One more chance, and it's to the near post, and the first shot by Mbappe is partially blocked by the goalkeeper, and Di Maria on the follow-up blasts the ball into the back of the net, and I think we finally have broken the deadlock, and it came from some good work down the left-hand side from Bernat. That cross hit the post from Mbappe, ricocheted back into the centre of the penalty box, and Di Maria was just in the right place at the right time to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. And finally, we do have that breakthrough, and maybe we can just settle down now and work on our passing a little bit, keep the ball a little bit better than we have been doing, and put the Moscow to the sword a little bit. But again, we were a little bit slapdash in the passing, and again, Moscow have picked up that ball, and they're working their way through the centre of midfield. They've got it up to Smolov, and he drops it back into midfield again, and they've gone over the top. I think there was an offside decision there, potentially, but it goes through harmlessly to the goalkeeper anyway. And yeah, it's not looking fantastic so far, is it, this particular performance? We've blown a little bit hot and cold in the domestic stuff as well so far. It's just taking a little bit of time to sort of fully get into our stride. But Di Maria again goes through on goal this time, but puts it at the goalkeeper, and he claims the ball nicely. And Babu with the throw in, we get it to Verratti on the edge of the box, and he has a bit of a wild shot, and it goes wide of the goal on this particular occasion. We're piling on the pressure though, plenty of chances, but not quite the quality on the finish that I would like. And again, it's a chance for Moscow to build up from the back, and they do. They go early over the top this time though, and Mkwenos wins the header with no major problems, and we settle it back down again. Sarabia was almost decapitated on that one, it felt like, but he still maintains the ball possession, and we keep moving forward down the right hand side. There's Mbabu on the overlap, drops it back to Sarabia, and he's an inverted winger when he plays Sarabia, so he does drift in a little bit. And there's a good ball in for Di Maria again, but there was a bundle load of defenders around him, and they eventually get the block on the shot, and they put it out. And the highlight goes 9 shots at goal, 3 on target, 1-1 for them. So you can see that we're being dominant, but those 3 on target, we need to up those by a couple maybe, and actually just improve the accuracy on them. And that takes us through to half time. An XG rating, expected goals of 1.39. So we're basically on target with that so far. But we do need to improve ourselves in front of goal with all those 9 shots that we took. We've got to get more accurate. So I'm just going to play a little bit sort of chilled out in this first team talk for the Champions League. Hands in pockets. Let's just say, I don't like half of these, to be honest. I'm not unhappy with it. Let's go with you. Yeah, let's go with the assistant. You've played well, but there is still room for an awful lot of improvement. And chuck them out for that. And then we'll go into the shouts and we'll demand more from them. And just see if we can focus their minds a little bit as we progress through this game. Again, down the right-hand side, Sarabia drops it back to Mbabu on the overlap down that right-hand side. Far onto that touchline. Doesn't quite manage to get the cross in first time. The block comes from the defender and it goes out for another corner kick on that far side, again taken by Neymar. Where's he going to put it this time? Goes right into the centre of the 6-yard box, and again they get a very good header on the clearance, and again we haven't made a set piece pay for us. Lokomotiv with a chance for a free kick. We get it very well defended, and Di Maria picks up the loose ball on just before the halfway line, runs right the way through to the penalty box, and then has a strike at goal, and again it's straight at the goalkeeper, and he parries it over the top for another corner kick. Neymar to the far side of the penalty box. Again, they win the header, but we win the loose ball as it's cleared, and Neymar on the ball on the edge of the box drops it back to Verratti. He doesn't quite have the space for the shot, so we've dropped it back even further, right the way to Marquinhos, and we're going to rebuild again, but we don't get to see it. The highlight dies at that point, and Babu this time with a good chance to run at a fullback, and he doesn't really do it. He loses the ball quite quickly, and Lokomotiv Moscow come through on that left-hand side into the box, and then Navas just about stops that ball from going over the line, doesn't he? He ends up behind the line and then has to run back through to claim the ball. Just about manages it. 58 minutes gone. We're not doing brilliantly well, are we? But we are still 1-0 up. And I think it's going to be soon time for a couple of changes just to see if we can improve the quality of what's going on here. I think we're going to go into a slightly more pressing version of this. We're sitting too deep. A good block there eventually. And then again, Moscow win the ball, but they didn't do anything with that on that occasion. At 60 minutes, it's quite early, but I am going to make a couple of changes here. Not really happy with how it's going. So we're going to go into out of possession, and we're going to put the higher line there. And then in transition, we're going to go into the counter press rather than the regroup. I thought for a little while I wanted to draw them on and then open the space for Neymar and Mbappe behind them, but hasn't really been working, has it? So we're going to counter press them, which means we have to go back into the out of possession and up the urgency of the press a little bit. So that's what we're going to do in terms of tactics. In terms of the team itself, what have we got going on here? Marquinhos on a 6.6. And then we've got Neymar on a 6.5. Well, that is not good enough, is it, at all? So he's going to come out. We can put Draxler out there. And he can play the same sort of role. And then we're going to take Sarabia out. And we're going to put Icardi in. And we're going to switch Icardi and Mbappe round. And those two can play those roles perfectly fine. And then we're going to make one more at this point. Pereira has got a yellow card, so Idrissa Gueye comes in and he can play in that holding midfield role. So that's what we're going to do for the next little while. We're going to go back in, confirm the changes and see if that can make any difference. And then we're going to go back into the shouts and fire them up for the next little while. 64 minutes gone. Can we turn this game and make it a slightly better win than we've got already? Or are Lokomotiv going to cause us a problem? They nearly did. A good cross in from the right-hand side. A fairly good header from a reasonable distance. And eventually it goes over the top of the bar. But again, it's a Moscow highlight that shows up, and they've worked it to the right-hand side from their goalkeeper. So they started right at the back to build up their play. They're taking their time over it. There's the press, though. Di Maria gets on the ball, passes it into Icardi, turns on the sixpence, has a shot, but it's slightly narrow of the goal. But at least there was a good press very early on, which puts us higher up the pitch to have a go at them. Di Maria loses the ball this time, though, and again it's Moscow on the counter-attack this time. But they don't do it particularly quickly. They settled the play down, then went too long too quickly, and Di Maria comes back with the ball. Mbappe down the right-hand side of the box, crosses it in. He didn't cross it in. He tried to shoot from almost on the byline, which is ridiculous when we had Icardi sitting in the 6-yard box. That's something they're going to have to get better at. And Mbappe cuts in off the right-hand side, though, and then gets his shot away, and it's narrowly wide of the post. There's the pace of Mbappe, and that's a real benefit and bonus to us, isn't it? 72 minutes gone. Kimpembe wins the ball in the defence. Eventually it finds Di Maria. Lots of space for him to run into. Icardi through on goal, and then a good block by the defender. Icardi picks up the loose ball and he drops it back a little bit, but the block comes in, and they eventually win the ball back again. And again, we don't put them to the sword. 81 minutes in, we're still 1-0 up. I think the pressure that we're putting on them should eventually break them, but so far hasn't quite. Di Maria at the top of the box drops it back, and then it's Mbabu down that right hand side. Again, Ghana takes over. Verratti onto Mbabu to the far post. Was he offside? I'm not sure about that one. We'll have to have a look. But Draxler, if he wasn't, yeah, he was. I'm sure he was. But if he wasn't, it would have been a decent goal. A good cross from Mbabu. But Draxler had just strayed into that offside position. I'm fairly sure of it. Yeah, he had. He was actually about, what was that, about a metre offside in terms of real terms. Bit of a shame, really. And still we remain at 1-0. Loads of chances all over the place, though, but we just haven't made the most of them. Again, we get it partially cleared from an attack from Lokomotiv, but they pick up the loose ball in midfield. Again, Mbappe this time wins it, but we give it straight back to them. What that long ball is all about, I don't know. That is not the way that this team is supposed to be set up. We're supposed to be set up to play a very short passing game. It hasn't been always the case. Good move down that right-hand side, but eventually the shot again is fairly wayward, isn't it? And 90 minutes, maybe we've got one or two more opportunities. And Di Maria is hacked down, but Mbappe takes over the loose ball and runs into the box, has a fairly tame shot again, straight at the goalkeeper who clutches the ball. And a free kick for Moscow. And again, Navas in goal for us claims the ball with no problems on that occasion. So not a lot for the goalkeepers to do, really. And we do reach the end of the game. And it was a little bit disappointing in a way, wasn't it, really? We're not going to overanalyse this today because we've set up the side and talked about how we're going to be doing this particular series. We're just going to leave it there for today, other than to say 18 shots at goal and only 6 on target, XG rating of 2.04. So there should have been another goal in there. We created a couple of very good chances and did not take them. Lokomotiv, for their part, played pretty well, decent amount of possession, moved the ball quite well, didn't ultimately challenge Navas too much in our goal, and we do come away with a 1-0 win, but I expect an awful lot more from our side moving forward. So here we are back in the schedule page. You can see the 1-0 win that we just got from Moscow. You can also see that in a couple of episodes' time, we finished the group stage with Manchester United. So we need to find one game in the middle to play against Atalanta. And we're going to take the home game. So next episode, it will be Atalanta at home in the Champions League. Between then and now, we've got a couple of other Ligue 1 games. And we've also got the first game against Manchester United in the Champions League group stage. So I'll update you on those by the time we come back for this Atalanta game. The points were good today, the performance not so much. That's a little bit how it's gone in the Ligue 1 as well. So we've got some improving to do, but I think over the season, as we get more used to playing the tactical formation and other bits and pieces, then I think we'll be absolutely fine in the domestic stuff. Can we win the Champions League in the first season? By the looks of it at the moment, that might be slightly tricky. Anyway, it's going to be quite short and sharp, this series. I hope it might even be one season. Who knows? But 3 seasons at the most. Join me next episode for Atalanta in the Champions League. Until then, thank you for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community, the more the merrier. Click that like button for me. Helps me get seen by loads of other people and shows me that you're engaged in the content. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.